Hi guys, my name is Sean Paul and I'm going to show you how to use wood glue to clean your vinyl incredibly well. I've been using wood glue on vinyl to clean it for about 10 years now, and it's the best thing I've found. I know it sounds really weird and a little scary actually, but it's not. It takes some ingredients, but I'm going to show you how to do it and get a really amazing clean. You can go from this to this. Some things it will not do is fix any scratches or scrapes on your records. Unfortunately, those are there for good and it won't clean those. However, the dirt and grime that are inside the grooves will pull all that stuff out. If you want to just see the highlights of how to get it done without any explanation, you can skip ahead to the overview section. Otherwise, I'm going to be explaining the process in detail. All right, let's get started. Of course, we need some wood glue. In my experience, I've found the Titebond Premium brand of wood glue to be the most effective. I glue a lot of records, so to keep things cost effective, I buy the small and the gallon version, then just refill the small one when needed. We need some kind of sharp tool to pry the dried glue from the record. I prefer a box cutter as it's easy to hold, it's very rigid, and I can work close to the blade. If you don't have a box cutter, no problem. Pretty much any bladed tool will work. You'll need some kind of rigid, non-porous material like plastic for spreading out the glue. An old credit card or gift card is great for this. Keep in mind we will be destroying it though. You'll need 2 microfiber cloths. It's important to use microfiber or you run the risk of scratching your vinyl. One of the cloths will be wet, so I like to use different colors to tell them apart. You'll need some toothpicks on hand to remove any stubborn bits of dried glue. The harder the wood, the better. I found the shorter variety to be pretty soft. Look for the longer version. Tweezers are optional, but a good no-contact method for grabbing dried glue fragments before we pull out the toothpicks. Also, make sure they're really sharp. The cosmetic ones work really well. Sandpaper is also optional, but recommended. A grit of 200 to 300 works great. And finally, an inspirational playlist is always recommended. Alright, let's get to gluing. The card used for spreading the glue needs to be made of plastic. Credit cards work just fine for this. Be aware the new Starbucks cards are made of cardboard and not plastic, so they won't work. I like to cut the corners of the card. I find it easier to handle. Sanding the edge of the card will help with spreading the glue. You need to add some water to one of the microfiber cloths. I like to make a little dish, add some water, wait for a few seconds, give it a quick squeeze to distribute the water, and you're good to go. If your stylus came with a cap, go ahead and put that on. Otherwise, just remove the needle altogether. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our damp microfiber cloth. And with this one, I'm just going to swipe in a circular motion. And I'm just cleaning off the surface dirt and grime here. I like to rotate my wrist and pivot here in an arch, mirroring the groove here. And then I'll get my dry microfiber cloth. And I usually dry until I don't see any moisture, and you'll be able to see it kind of evaporate. Flip it over. I'm going to do the other side. I always like to do both sides at once, so I don't have to worry about doing this in the middle of having one glued side and one not. If you see spots on the vinyl where there's maybe a deposit of something, you can gently scrub it until that comes out. Sometimes they aren't. Sometimes they're actually abrasions on the vinyl, and those aren't going to come out. Don't worry about those. Okay, nice and clean. I'm going to start up the record.
Open up our glue, and I'm going to just apply a bead of glue in a spiral fashion and move it from the center out. And then I like to kind of make the squiggles, and that's good. Make sure you get all the glue. When you're done gluing, there's going to be a string of glue. Make sure that has dropped off before you remove the glue container, because I've had the glue whip off and get on the label, and that's not good. Very hard to get off. Okay, so now we're going to get our card, our plastic card, and I'm going to push down with my right hand and apply pressure with the other one, just in the middle. And I'm just kind of applying it evenly. And that's good. What I want to do is build up a wall of glue on the outside edge here without going over. Near the label, it's not important to do that, but you want to be careful about not getting too close to the label. This area in here is called the dead wax, and it's completely smooth. There's usually just a tracking groove, nothing else. So don't worry about getting too close in there. That's going to be really easy to clean anyway. It's the grooves we want to care about. Okay, we'll move it somewhere to dry out. Okay, we've got our record all glued up. So we need to find somewhere safe for it to be left alone so that it can do its thing. Just use fabric or any soft surface will do. Something to protect it. Okay, our glue is all dried and ready to be pulled off the vinyl. This is the point that I should mention to take tremendous amounts of care. We're going to be using this sharp object to poke at our record, and all sorts of things can go wrong. At the least, we might nick the record a little bit. At the most, we could cause it to skip because we actually score the groove. So you want to be very careful. What we're looking at is a parallel blade to the vinyl. You don't want to be going down at an angle, digging in, and you don't want to be going up, or you're not going to be able to grab the glue. So parallel with the record, and you want to find a spot where the glue is fairly close to the edge. And if you can't see one immediately, just spin the record around. You'll probably find one that's closer. This is why we built up a ridge of glue on the edge. I'm going to just move the blade into the glue until it catches and then pull upward, just like that. Once you get there, I'm just going to grab this and pull it back. Look at that shine, that's amazing. Here is what the glue looks like. It's a perfect mirror copy of the grooves. Hey, real quick, I love vinyl so much I actually make things out of vinyl to sell online. My website is granddesignfyi.com. Please stop by, check it out. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, we're going to pull off the glue here. This has been sitting for about 10 days, so there may be, the longer it sits, the more brittle the glue is going to become, and the greater the risk that there's going to be little bits of glue left when we pull it off. Another thing that I want to point out is sometimes fine dust will collect on the edge of the vinyl, and this is a result of static electricity usually when we're cleaning it and then sitting. So I'd like to take my microfiber cloth and run it around the edge with a little bit of pressure prior to pulling the glue off. That way the glue protects the grooves. Okay, I'm gonna grab my blade here and pull off the glue. And you can see already here, it's holding on right here pretty well. You can see the glue is starting to split, and it's leaving behind little particles of glue that are grabbing onto the groove and the edge. So I'll continue pulling this off. You can see where there's glue that's held on. And that's where our toothpick comes in. Essentially what we're gonna do is use it as a needle. And I'm gently going to place the toothpick in the groove and run the record into it. And you can see it's immediately pulling off that glue. Now I'm being very gentle here, and you can feel This is why it's important to get it really as hard of wood as possible for your toothpick, otherwise it will actually leave wood behind. You won't damage your record, but you will need to clean it out. Okay, that feels good. I'm gonna clean it off with a microfiber cloth here, so we'll just, I'm gonna hold it here and just run the record with my hand. Okay, and we will go ahead and play this to see if we have any of the glue. I start the needle out as far to the edge as possible without it falling off. Okay, I can hear right away there's some glue still left in there. So what I'll do usually is just run it back, see if I can visually spot it. And sometimes it's hard to do. Usually it's not that bad. It's kind of tough with all this gear in the way. So I'm gonna have to play it again here. Okay, so I'm gonna run the record backwards. Okay, I can see it now. So it's right in here. You can kind of see it. I'll remove the needle here. You can probably see it a little better. Okay, all those little dots, that's all the glue. So again, I'm just gonna take my toothpick, oh, I can feel it. There you go, and you can probably see that's the glue that was in the way right there. Sounds great. Thanks for watching. This is my first video, so I'd love to get any feedback you have, any comments, please leave them down below. Again, please visit my website. It's granddesignfyi.com. I'd really appreciate that. You might find something you like. And I'm coming out with more videos, so stay tuned and subscribe if you want to check those out. All right, thanks a lot.